Imagine walking home and you can't see where you're going. Imagine that it's difficult to breathe. Your eyes are scratched and your skin stings. You must keep going with one foot on the road and one foot on the shoulder so you don't get lost. And imagine that the reason for all of your trouble is dust. Out of the Dust is a collection of free verse poems that tell the story of Billy Joe, a 14-year-old girl living in Oklahoma during the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression. Although the story is told through poetry, it reads like a novel, and readers will be caught up in all of the hardships that Billy Joe must endure. Not only is her family's farm failing, but her mother dies and her father grieves. Billy Joe must deal with her own tragedies and work to find forgiveness. My favorite poems in the book are the ones that are about weather. This one is called Breaking Drought. After 70 days of wind and sun, of wind and clouds, of wind and sand, after 70 days of wind and dust, a little rain came. February 1934. And this poem is called Broken Promise. It rained a little everywhere but here. March 1935. I would recommend that this book is used in a social studies class to learn about the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, or in a language arts class to learn about free verse poetry. It would be even better to use this book in an integrated unit of language arts and social studies. For language arts extensions, students could choose a time in their own life and write free verse poetry about themselves. They could choose their favorite poem and illustrate it, memorize it, or perform it for the class. They could also make a prediction of what happens after the very last poem in the book. Or they could write a free verse poem about what they think happens when the story ends. If you want to learn more about the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression, plus find out what happens to Billy Joe, pick up an easy-to-read historical fiction collection of poetry, Out of the Dust.